Thank you, and good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Members of this Honorable House will be aware that the Ministry of Economic Development and Tourism has been working with the Bermuda Tourism Authority to update the National Tourism Plan. The most important objective of this exercise is to develop a comprehensive 5-year plan for the growth of Bermuda's tourism industry in a world where tourism is constantly and quickly evolving. When completed, the 2018 plan will chart our course through 2023, keeping the country on track with a clear vision for continuing the growth trajectory that the industry has enjoyed since 2015. As I stand today, Mr. Speaker, the process of creating the next chapter of the National Tourism Plan is a little more than halfway to completion. Having begun in early March, the BTA expects to deliver a final report to the public in October at its annual Tourism Summit. Over the past 4.5 months, research has been completed to build the foundation of the final plan. Allow me to review some of the broad consultation that has already taken place. 122 stakeholder interviews ranging from 1 to 2 hours each have been conducted, covering a wide variety of viewpoints from within the tourism industry and outside of the tourism industry, from the public sector and the private sector. More than 2,500 people have been surveyed in the U.S., U.K., and Canada, both previous visitors to Bermuda and those who have not visited yet. Nearly 800 local residents have been polled for their opinions about the future of Bermuda tourism as well, either in response to online surveys or via a telephone interview. Clearly, Mr. Speaker, the goal is to gather as much input as possible from as many vantage points as possible so that the end result is a national tourism plan that the whole country can get behind. This cannot be a plan crafted in an ivory tower, Mr. Speaker. It must be crafted collaboratively with the people whose help is required to make it a success. To that point, more than 40 volunteers associated with the tourism industry volunteered over 9 hours of their personal time to sit on National Tourism Plan working groups over the past 2 months. This is where people rolled up their sleeves and worked as teams to shape an improved on-island experience for Bermuda's visitor target segments. The end result of this work intends to be an actionable strategy for raising our tourism product across the spectrum. In addition to these volunteers, members of Parliament, BTA board members, the staff at the BTA, small business owners, frontline tourism workers, and a host of others make significant contributions to the working groups, and I cannot stress enough the importance of their input to the National Tourism Plan. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to read their names here in the House of Assembly as a token of appreciation for their time and effort. From the Bermuda Tourism Authority Board, Mr. Paul Telford, Sophia Greaves, Phil Barnett, and Stephen Todd. From the staff at the BTA, Alice Sadak, Tishay Thompson, Tiffany Kaler, David Thomas, Rashida Burgess, Jill Dill, Jamari Douglas, Glenn Jones, Amanda Dempsey, and Leonard Williams. From Parliament, the Honorable Cole Simons, the Honorable Leah Scott, the Honorable Crystal Caesar, Junior Minister of Economic Development and Tourism, who sits in another place. And from a cross-section of our economy, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the following: Janelle Christopher, Rodney Grimes, Mark Anderson, Roger Todd, Joanna Cranfield, Stephanie Rodille, Mayor of St. George's, Quinnell Francis, Mayor of Hamilton, Charles Gosling, Elizabeth Christopher, Cordell Riley, Shelley Mazzoli, Corey Butterfield, Denny Lee Trapp, Thomas Lightbourne, Alexander Green, Tim Morrison, Kristen White, Kim Dismont Robinson, Heather Whalen, Craig Burt, Isabel Ramsey Braxton, Antoine Allboy, Faith Bridges, Craig Tyrrell, Paul Adams, and Malika Cartwright. These contributors to the National Tourism Plan were split into 4 working groups that met for 3 sessions spread over a 6-week period. I attended this session for a brief period this week, Mr. Speaker, and passed along my thanks and certificates of appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Economic Development and Tourism. We are very pleased with the collaborative spirit of this project and grateful for the contributions of so many. In addition to this important review of the on-island experience, the next chapter of the National Tourism Plan will also explore the possibilities in the African American travel segment, sports tourism, cultural tourism, groups and incentive travel, and a myriad of other important touchpoints, including markets where Bermuda's future tourism growth is likely to come. I would like to conclude by reiterating that writing a national tourism plan is an important part of creating a successful tourism destination, and that my ministry will continue to provide support to the BTA on this crucial work to complete a plan that all of Bermuda can get behind. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.